Listen to me very carefully. Right now, in this exact moment, there is someone out there who can't stop thinking about you. And I'm not talking about some casual thought. I'm talking about a battle, a war happening inside their mind. Their ego is screaming at them to move on, to forget you, to pretend they don't care. But their heart is doing something completely different. They're fighting themselves, fighting their pride, fighting their ego, all just to find a reason, any reason, to hear your voice again. And the craziest part? You probably have no idea this is happening. By the end of this video, you're going to understand exactly who this person is, why they're in this internal war, and what it means for you. Because when someone is willing to destroy their own ego just to reconnect with you, that says something powerful. So don't skip ahead. Don't click away. Because what I'm about to reveal might just change everything you thought you knew about that person who's been on your mind lately. Let's dive in. You know what the ego is, right? It's that voice in your head that says, don't text first. It's the pride that says if they wanted to talk, they would reach out. It's that stubborn part of us that refuses to show vulnerability, refuses to admit we miss someone, refuses to take the first step. The ego protects us. It keeps us from looking desperate, from getting hurt, from appearing weak. It's a defense mechanism built over years of experiences, disappointments, and social conditioning. But here's what most people don't understand. The ego and the heart are in constant conflict. And when someone truly matters to you, when the connection was real, that conflict becomes a full-scale war. Right now, someone is lying in bed at night, staring at their phone. Your name is right there in their contacts. They've typed and deleted messages to you more times than you can imagine. Their thumb hovers over the call button. They rehearse what they would say if they called. They imagine your voice on the other end. But then the ego kicks in. Don't do it. You'll look weak. You'll look desperate. They don't care about you anyway. Move on. Forget them. And so they put the phone down. They distract themselves. They try to sleep. But the battle never really ends. Because deep down, beneath all that pride and all that ego, there's a truth they can't escape. They miss you. They want to hear your voice. They want to know how you're doing. They want to tell you things. They want to laugh with you again. They want to share their day with you. The ego says no, but the heart keeps fighting. Now you might be thinking, how do I know if this is really happening? How do I know someone is actually fighting their ego to reach out to me? Let me tell you the signs. These are the subtle behaviors that reveal the war happening inside someone's mind. First, they're watching you from a distance. They're checking your social media, not just casually scrolling past your posts. No, they're actually looking. They're clicking on your stories. They're paying attention to what you're posting, where you're going, who you're with. They might not like or comment because that would give them away. But they're watching. Believe me, they're watching. Second, they talk about you to mutual friends. Not in an obvious way, but they'll slip your name into conversations. Oh, have you heard from them lately? Or how are they doing? They're gathering information without directly reaching out to you. They want to know about your life, but their ego won't let them ask you directly. Third, they keep things that remind them of you. That song you both loved? They still listen to it. That place you used to go together? They still think about it every time they pass by. Those memories? They replay them constantly. They haven't deleted your pictures. They haven't removed you from their life completely, because some part of them is holding on. Fourth, they almost reach out multiple times. You might have noticed their name pop up in your notifications, then disappear. They started typing, then stopped. They called, then hung up before it rang. They drafted emails they never sent. They wrote letters they never mailed. The evidence of their internal struggle is everywhere if you know where to look. Fifth, they've changed since you've been apart. People who know them notice it. They're quieter, more reflective. Something is missing from their energy. Because when you truly connect with someone, when they become part of your daily life, their absence leaves a void. And that void is constantly reminding them of what they lost. Sixth, they defend you, even when you're not around. If someone speaks negatively about you, they jump to your defense. Because even though their ego won't let them reach out, their heart won't let anyone disrespect you either. These signs don't lie. These behaviors reveal a truth that words never could. But here's the question you're probably asking. Why? Why does the ego fight so hard against something the heart clearly wants? The answer is complicated, but it comes down to a few core fears. Fear of rejection. This is the big one. What if they reach out and you don't respond? What if you've moved on? What if you don't care anymore? What if you laugh at them for still thinking about you? The ego protects us from these possibilities by convincing us not to try at all. It's safer to wonder than to know for certain that we've been forgotten. Fear of vulnerability. Reaching out means admitting you care. It means showing your cards. It means confessing that despite everything, despite the time apart, despite whatever happened between you, you still think about them. That level of honesty is terrifying. The ego hates vulnerability. It sees it as weakness. Fear of repeating past pain. If things ended badly, if there was hurt involved, the ego remembers that pain. It uses that memory as ammunition. Remember how much it hurt last time? You really want to go through that again. The ego is trying to protect you from potential future pain by keeping you locked in present loneliness, pride, and social conditioning. We live in a world that tells us don't chase anyone. Know your worth. If they wanted you, they'd make an effort. These messages, while sometimes helpful, can also create walls. The ego adopts these beliefs and uses them as justification. I'm not chasing anyone. I have dignity. I have pride. Fear of appearing desperate. Nobody wants to look desperate. Nobody wants to be that person who can't let go. The ego convinces us that reaching out equals desperation. So even when the desire to connect is genuine and deep, we suppress it to maintain our image. But here's what the ego doesn't understand. Real connection isn't about pride. It's not about who texted first, or who cares more, or who has more power in the relationship. Real connection is about two people who genuinely value each other, who miss each other, who want to be part of each other's lives. And sometimes, destroying your ego is the bravest thing you can do. There comes a point in this internal battle where the ego starts to weaken, where the heart starts to win. And this is when things get really interesting. It usually happens during vulnerable moments, late at night when they're alone with their thoughts, during a song that reminds them of you, when something funny happens and you're the first person they want to tell, when they're going through something difficult and they remember how you used to comfort them, when they see something that you would love and their instinct is to share it with you. These moments chip away at the ego's defenses. Slowly but surely, the resistance weakens. They start rationalizing. Maybe just one text wouldn't hurt. Maybe I'll just check in and see how they're doing. Maybe enough time has passed that it won't be weird. Maybe they're thinking about me too. They start looking for signs from the universe, seeing your name randomly, hearing songs that connect to you, crossing paths with mutual friends who mention you. They interpret everything as a sign that maybe, just maybe, they should reach out. They start imagining scenarios. What would happen if they called? What would you say? Would you be happy to hear from them? Would it be awkward at first, but then comfortable? Would it feel like no time has passed at all? They replay these imaginary conversations over and over. And then one day, something happens. A final trigger. Maybe they hear that you're going through something. Maybe they have a dream about you. Maybe they just can't take it anymore. Maybe the loneliness of not having you in their life becomes greater than the fear of reaching out. And that's when the ego finally cracks. That's when the heart wins. That's when they finally destroy that pride, that stubbornness, that fear, and they reach out. Now, if and when this person finally breaks through their ego and reaches out to you, understand what that means. Understand the significance of that moment. It means they chose you over their pride. They decided that having you back in their life, even just hearing your voice, was more important than protecting their ego. That's not a small thing. Most people never get to that point. Most people let their ego win. Most people live with the regret of never reaching out. It means the connection was real. People don't fight internal wars over people who didn't matter. They don't wage battles between their ego and heart over casual connections. This kind of struggle only happens when someone truly impacted you, when they became important, when losing them left a real void. It means they're willing to be vulnerable. Vulnerability is courage. Reaching out when you're not sure of the response, when you're risking rejection, when you're exposing your feelings, that takes real strength. When someone does that for you, recognize it for what it is. It means they believe you're worth the risk. Every time we reach out to someone, we're taking a risk. A risk of being ignored. A risk of being rejected. A risk of being hurt. When someone reaches out to you despite these risks, they're essentially saying you're worth it. Whatever happens, reaching out to you is worth the risk. But here's something crucial you need to understand. When they do reach out, how you respond matters tremendously. If you've been waiting for this, if you've been hoping they'd come back, if you miss them too, don't let your own ego ruin the moment. Don't play games. Don't make them regret taking that risk. Don't punish them for taking time to work through their own internal battle. On the other hand, if you've genuinely moved on, if you're not interested in reconnecting, be kind but honest. Don't lead them on. Don't use their vulnerability against them. Respect the courage it took for them to reach out, even if your answer isn't what they hoped for. But what if they never reach out? What if their ego wins? What if the battle rages on forever, but they never actually make contact? This is a painful reality many people face. You can sense that someone is thinking about you. You can feel that they miss you, but they never actually reach out. Their ego keeps them locked in silence. Here's what you need to understand about this situation. Their inability to reach out is about them, not about you. It's about their fears, their pride, their internal struggles. It doesn't mean they don't care. It just means their ego is stronger than their heart, at least for now. And you have a choice to make. You can wait for them to come around. You can hold space for them to work through their battle. You can hope that eventually their heart wins. And maybe it will. Maybe one day they'll find the courage. Or you can decide that you're not going to wait. You can decide that if they can't fight through their ego to reach you, then maybe they're not the right person for you right now. You can decide that you deserve someone who chooses you without needing an internal war first. Or, and this is the third option, you can reach out yourself. I know. Your ego is probably screaming right now. Why should I reach out? If they wanted to talk, they would contact me. I'm not chasing anyone. But think about it. If you're both waiting for the other person to make the first move, if you're both locked in your own ego battles, if you're both too proud to be vulnerable, then what happens? You both lose. You both stay stuck. You both live with the regret of a connection that could have been rekindled, but wasn't because neither person was brave enough. Sometimes being the one who reaches out first isn't weakness. It's wisdom. It's courage. It's choosing connection over pride. But only you can decide which path is right for you. Let me share something deeper with you. Something most people don't realize about ego. The ego isn't evil. It's not your enemy. It's actually trying to protect you. Every time it tells you not to reach out, not to show vulnerability, not to risk rejection, it's trying to keep you safe. It's doing its job. But here's the problem. The ego can't tell the difference between real danger and emotional risk. It treats potential heartbreak the same way it treats physical threats. Its solution is always the same. Avoid, protect, defend. The heart, on the other hand, understands something the ego doesn't. It understands that connection, love, friendship, meaningful relationships, these things require risk. They require vulnerability. They require the possibility of pain. The heart knows that the pain of never trying is often worse than the pain of trying and failing. The heart knows that regret weighs heavier than rejection. The heart knows that real fulfillment comes from authentic connection, not from protected isolation. So when someone is fighting their ego just to hear your voice again, what's really happening is they're trying to choose their heart over their fear. They're trying to choose connection over protection. They're trying to choose you over their pride. And that's beautiful. That's rare. That's something worth acknowledging. Here's something you need to understand. If someone is going through this battle because of you, you hold tremendous power. Your response, your energy, your presence in their thoughts, it's affecting them deeply. Use that power wisely. Don't use it to manipulate. Don't use it to feed your ego. Don't use it to play games or to punish them for past hurts. If you care about them, if you miss them too, if you want them back in your life, consider making it easier for them. Consider being the one who breaks the silence. Consider being the one who destroys their ego for them by showing them that reaching out is safe. If you don't want them back, if you've truly moved on, if reconnecting isn't right for you, then set them free completely. Don't keep them hanging. Don't breadcrumb them. Don't enjoy the attention while giving nothing back. Power comes with responsibility, and the power to affect someone's thoughts, their emotions, their daily peace, that's significant power. So here we are. Someone out there is fighting an internal war. Their ego and their heart are locked in battle. And you're the reason. They want to hear your voice. They want to know you're okay. They want to reconnect. They want to share their life with you again. But their pride, their fear, their past pain, it's all standing in the way. Maybe they'll win the battle. Maybe their heart will triumph and they'll reach out. Maybe you'll get that text, that call, that message you've been unconsciously waiting for. Maybe they won't. Maybe their ego will keep them locked in silence. Maybe you'll never hear from them, and you'll both just become another story of what if and almost. Or maybe you'll be the one who ends the war. Maybe you'll be brave enough to reach out first. Maybe you'll be the one who says, ego be damned, this person matters to me, and I'm not letting pride keep us apart. Whatever happens, understand this. When someone fights their ego just to connect with you, when they destroy their pride just to hear your voice, when they risk rejection just for the possibility of having you back in their life, that's not nothing. That's everything. And if you're the person in the battle, if you're the one fighting your ego right now about reaching out to someone, let me tell you something. Life is too short. Time moves too fast. People who matter don't come around every day. Destroy that ego. Make the call. Send the text. Take the risk. Be vulnerable. Choose connection over pride. Because years from now, you won't regret being brave. But you might regret being too proud to try. They are shocked. You destroyed their ego. And in doing so, you created the possibility of something real. Thanks for watching. If this resonated with you, if you're thinking about someone right now, if you're in your own ego battle, drop a comment. Let's talk about it. Sometimes just acknowledging the struggle out loud makes it easier to overcome. And hey, if this video gave you the courage to reach out to someone, I want to hear about it. Subscribe and stick around. We talk about real things here. Real emotions, real connections, real life. Until next time, choose your heart over your ego. Choose connection over pride. Choose love over fear. They're waiting to hear from you. Don't make them wait forever.